Hello everyone, I'm back with Fate Grand Order with the Sin Moss Belt. Last time, HorseyEatYou showed up. It was Hinako the whole time, what? What a plot twist. So I've started to just look ahead and see what battles we have. I've only looked at this chapter, but it's an Assassin Fight and 0 AP. I mean, I probably would have brought Ilya anyway, but it's good to know. Yeah, apparently she has like 700k HP. It's quite a bit. But I believe in Ilya. Let's go over to singularities. Get Ilya. Switch you out for Nail. Do I have a better single target caster, like caster of Okeanos. I don't know who that could be, but let's not backline you anymore. Breaks continuity. Vlad? Actually, I think that's a good. Or Kintoki even. You can hit hard. Yeah, I don't get to use Kintoki enough. Let's use him. I don't need this one. This one. Haha. No, that's good. Yeah, I was hoping I'd be able to finish this last book tonight. Doesn't look like I'll be able to. But I can get to like the last. I can do at least 2 tonight. Maybe 3. Okay. We're just straight into battle. Huh. Gotta be honest, was not expecting that. Like, obviously last time she was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Oh. But still, I was expecting a little more build up. Well then. I mean, what have I been up to? I just woke up. I went to bed a couple hours after the last video, and you know, I mean, I played Overwatch last night though. Hey, you reinstalled it? I've been playing it with a friend of mine. I got really burnt out on it like a year or 2 ago. I remember I started to get burned out a little around the time Batiste came out. And I finally like uninstalled when Sigma came out. So if you want to timeline that, go ahead. You might guess. Let's do this. I mean, we gotta overcharge it. Well, oh, I don't have her on MP2 here. I guess I do on the Japanese server. I get them mixed up sometimes. So I believe this is the yeah, okay. And this is MP gain up? Yeah, I haven't used Ilya in a while. Come on, give me the dang it. If you get the right buff, it's a 70% chance, I think. It gives her debuff resistance for Noble Phantasm. I think Chloe actually gives her a buff that ups it to 30%. And does Cedo Knight have something similar? Because I know it works. Like it does it for all Ilya faces, which is Prisma and Cedo Knight. I think Cedo Knight has something that combos with Chloe. Don't quote me on that. Because I don't have a Cedo Knight and I very rarely get to use one. So yeah, I might not have her right. Oh, does she not Noble Phantasm? Oh, she does. She does. That hurt. But doesn't the one we summon get to do that? Okay, oh, thank you, Corinth guy. I did read that she gives you guts every turn, apparently, which is cool. But you can still die to the curse. So, because you apparently curses you. I've never noticed that before because it does no damage. Alright, good job, Ilya. You see the curse triggered the guts there. Oh, does she just spam her Noble Phantasm every time? And she gets an auto attack. That's not fair. They can't even debuff her, can you? That's cheating. Well, luckily, Ilya did a lot of her HP there. Let's go and use this. If King Toki comes in, it's over. Probably. Let's go and use that. And Ilya should be able to go, what is it? Prisma Cosmos? Next turn? Something like that. Anyway, oh yeah, they did announce a new Prisma Ilya movie. I heard that apparently the mangas for 3 rays finished now in the manga, so I needed to get caught up with that. I stopped reading a little bit after the Shiro arc ended. Actually, I watched a little bit of the movie, but I just never finished it. I had to like pause in the middle and I just never came back. Which, I mean, it was pretty good so far. I forget how far I get it. I think it was the Shinji confrontation with Sakura, I think? Don't quote me on it. So I mean, I was getting to like the good part. Look, I'm kind of glad they decided to do the rest of 3 as movies, because I remember being really let down by what it was the scene, like the second to last episode of 3A, the season. I mean, I don't think this will last, but might as well try it. Oh, we can do this. There's like the scene where Shiro shows up and they use this Shuni stuff and they fight on like a giant sword or something. It's been a while. I think Sakura has Lancelot for some reason. I don't look. It's been years. Yeah, so I'll have to get around to finishing it. Maybe I just need to reread the whole thing or rewatch it. That's an option. I only Golden Spark. Good job, Kitoki. I remember the general plot points, but it's been a while. Yeah, I need to get around to that. Same with the other Fate anime I haven't finished in. Elma Loi Case Files and the extra Last Encore anime. I've watched a couple episodes of each, just never got around to finishing them. And she'll be dead next turn. Okay. Yeah, I think they were both okay. Elma Loi Case Files and the Fate Extra anime. I've heard the Fate Extra anime is supposed to be like terrible, but I don't hate it so far. I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes. I'm pretty sure Nero just killed Drake, I believe, is where I ended it. Although I think a lot of the hate for it comes from it being like a not for newcomers, but not really for returners either, if that makes sense. Like, you pretty much need knowledge of Fate Extra to watch it, but it's not made specifically for people who, you know. Also, she lived. Well, Mashu can't die here, so that's good. I think. The curse won't. No, the curse at the beginning of it? I don't know. Anyway, just make sure to use your shield, and you're good. God, imagine if the curse killed her. Okay, that's just in case. Oh, it is. Oh, there we go. You got this, Mashu. It's the cannon fight. See? Actually, we have like 10 servants. But yeah, I should especially finish Elma Loi because it gets, what's it, like the event in a couple months. I've read the first novel, so I mean, I'm familiar with the setting. But still, you can't hurt to watch it. I wonder if they've translated any more of the novels. I haven't actually paid attention to that. That was her Noble Phantasm, I assume? How could she attack with so much power so quickly? She should have run out of magical energy ages ago. She's not using her own magical energy at all. She's sucking up the endless supply of mana from the world itself and using it as her own. So this is what a true ancestor, an incarnated elemental, can do. Never would have thought that China had one of its own. Da Vinci, can you stop spreading these rumors? She's not a true ancestor. Fighting one of them is like taking on a tsunami or a hurricane with your fists. I'm sorry, that went right over my head. Can you dumb it down to say horse level? Yes, I would greatly appreciate that. Horse level, please. Simply put, we've been quite thoroughly backed into a corner here. Huh? That's bad, right? Oh yes. We're all gonna die anyway. Might I suggest you blow yourselves up so everyone except me can truly go out with a bang? Will you two just shut up already? Oh, she did it again. I don't think I can keep this up any longer, Master. Enough playing around, Nakuta. No, now that you have revealed your true form, we suppose we should no longer call you by your alias. But then, you have never given us any other name. What should we call you now? You'd call my wrath, my curses, merely playing around, O worldly king? What else would you call this? Did you endure eternity merely so you could curse these people to death? Undying one, true one, we have too much respect for you to see you lose your way like this. Return here before you go any further. Recall the pledge you still have yet to keep, and do what must be done first. So you do not want me to do anything unless it benefits you, is that it? We are telling you to remember what it is you came here to do. Just what is the nature of the relationship between these two? A pledge? Does that mean she made some other deal with Chin-Chi Huang I didn't know about? Those of us who endure eternally, I think that should be eternity, should not be so swept up in fleeting emotions. Or that, I mean, I guess you could say they endure eternally. I guess? Maybe? You must not forget what it is you truly seek, how close you are to having it in your grasp, and what you must yet do. Alright, I understand. I shall follow your advice. For now. I see you. Yu Mei-ran has left the battlefield. Phew, I'm exhausted. This stuff can be such a pain. As much as I despise humans, I do have to give them credit for one thing. The weapons they make are so much easier to use. There's nothing better than something that lets you kill a bunch of humans just by pulling a trigger, right? Koyanskaya, take it you knew that Akata Hiyako was actually Yu Mei-ran all along? Who's Yu Mei-ran? The Song of Gaixia. A notable figure from the Chu Han Kotenshin, which took place after the death of Chin-Chi Huang. She was the hegemon king of Western Xiang Yu's lover, said to have met an untimely death in the wake of his defeat. There's like a lag there, so I clicked and it's, So this means that Yu Mei-ran wasn't human, but she's also been alive for thousands of years? Yeah, it's not subversive. It makes sense. It was shocking enough to find out that the legendary Yu Mei-ran was actually a bloodsucker, or rather, a true ancestor. But then, why would she bother infiltrating Chaldea and applying to be a race shift candidate? And if that weren't enough, now she's a cryptor holed up in the Chinese lost belt? None of this makes any sense. True, if all you look at are the facts, the odds seem pretty long indeed. But if you trace them back to their source, the answer couldn't be simpler. This all happened because Marisbury planned for it to happen. As I suspected. Dr. Marisbury Adam Whisper may have seemed like a good person, but at heart, he was still a mage. A mage's idea of doing good and a human's idea of doing good are very, very different. Marisbury may have just been a person, may have been a just person. It seems like he also managed to do good, that is, his best, as a mage. I expect he must have been anxious. I imagine he had to wonder if race shifting was even possible, and if it was, whether humans could actually survive the process. I guess that's what prompted him to bring Yu Mei-ran as a backup of sorts. No doubt he must have thought that even if it turned out humans couldn't withstand a race shift, she would either survive or could be resuscitated thanks to her sturdy true ancestor body. That must be why he covered up her true identity under the name Akata Hinako, and sent her a formal invitation to Chaldea after she'd been hiding away in the margins of history for centuries. How did he find her? That would have been before the previous version of me was summoned to Chaldea. I do recall Akata Hinako was already part of Chaldea's staff even before Team A was formed. Marisbury must have wanted to prove the viability of race shifting come hell or high water. Agreed. Imagine he meant to use her as a guinea pig to make the experiment work. Even if there turned out to be no mere humans who fit the bill whatsoever. And as luck would have it, not only did there turn out to be plenty of viable candidates, the demi-servant plan he had come up with to improve the odds of summoning a heroic spirit after the race shift worked out as well. I mean, there were, you know, a few kinks in their wrench, as they say. That's the saying. You know, fire, love. All of which meant that Marisberry no longer needed to bother giving Akata Hinako more special treatment. She was ultimately assigned to Team A for no other reason than to fill the roster, so to speak. Now do you understand? Your great director is hiding a true ancestor in his organization all this time. It's no wonder Chaldea came out under UN scrutiny after something that shady. The fact that none of the surviving staff had any idea is just the ultra-ironic icing on the cake. Still, surprised you, Mayran, agreed to all that, being a true ancestor. Speaking of, did we like rescue French cooking boy? Or is he still in jail? We just left him in there and exploded the place. See you, nerd. Oh, that's the part you find strange? Huh? Well, I don't suppose anyone with a finite lifespan could really understand the psychology of a truly eternal being. So I have to give Marisberry credit for being able to figure out what it was she wanted. It couldn't have been easy for him to convince her, since she really, really hates humans. At the very least, I'm sure he never offered anything as cheesy as a meat cult. I'm not sure what to make of all this, because I really don't know Marisberry all that well. Hey, you can summon any servant you want. Deal. Sure, Romani knew him well enough that he could weigh in something useful, but, you know, Romani's no longer around. Come on, never mind all that now. Let's get out of here. Agreed. Now that we've met an enemy of Qinshi Huang, lingering in one place for too long is tantamount to suicide. Got it. Let's keep our camouflage bounded field up and put some distance between us in this place. Man, it really sucks that they took the border. I have to carry our patron on foot. Please, no more Tool. Couldn't eat another bite. Oh yeah, I looked up who Tool was. She was like a homunculus in Apocrypha. I think. I saw something that looked like a truck in the hangar. Maybe we could use that? Like, she's definitely a homunculus. I don't know if she's an Apocrypha or if she's just, like, extra character. Huh? You mean the thing they used when they brought me here? Maybe better than walking. I'll feel every bump of the road and then some. Oh, beggars can't be choosers. Just have to make the best of it. Oh, it's not cutting? Consort Yu's backstory? Long, long ago, this was a beautiful place. Even today, I still remember the time when there was nothing in the sky but wind, and nothing on the ground but plants. This was in ages past, long before anyone even thought to lay claim to this planet. Before I was separated from the world, or before I even had a form of my own. Are my memories of what came after? Oh, are all of fear, animosity, and a perverse kind of envy. You and I both look the same, which is why I don't understand. Why do you hate me so much? Why do you despise me so much? You would attack me so viciously, all because I cannot die? I never asked for eternal life. I would have welcomed death. I would have liked nothing more than to fall into oblivion alongside my beloved. True ancestor? Bloodsucker? I don't know anything about those. But that didn't stop you from deciding that's what I was. You said my inability to die made me unclean. That my inability to age made me a monster. That line is meta. Inadvertently. Well, kind of inadvertently. None of you listened to what I had to say. Once you decided that I was a monster, you just kept treating me like one. I understand you hate humans. I know you want nothing to do with us. But no matter how much you may wish it were otherwise, I think this is Marisberry. Humans will never truly leave you alone. Once they learn you exist, executors will come from far and wide to hunt you down. I cannot do anything to change that fact. As such, I cannot apologize on behalf of humanity. All I can do is give you an outlet for your resentment, to keep my head bowed, no matter what manner of abuse you heap upon it. It is with that in mind that I would like to make you a proposal, even if you think me shameless for doing so. If you wish to obtain peace and quiet, your only choice is to move yourself somewhere outside the bounds of human activity. Like Antarctica, mankind has grown too numerous. Indeed, this last century must have been a nightmare for you. They excavate mountains, chop down forests, and greedily expand their territory with no end in sight. You must have already realized that at this rate, there will no longer be any safe place for you to hide. So, speaking as one partially responsible for the state of affairs, I'd like to offer you a deal. There's a small, isolated community of mages in one of the most remote areas of this world. Its residents are well aware that prying into the other community members' lives is taboo. I think you would be right at home in Chaldea. As long as you play along with a false identity I will prepare for you, no one will ever be the wiser. In exchange, I'd like you to assist me with my search. A quest of sorts to realize my family's greatest dream. Oh yes, I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Marisberry Atmosphere. I hope you can see that our interests are aligned. Spirit of Gaia is one of the last flowers of the moon left on Earth. I'd love to have your help in making both our dreams come true. True, human. You may end. So I'm pretty sure he just mistakenly referred to her as a true ancestor, because the true ancestors are from the moon, right? But then one of them was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." I think his name was Crimson Moon, and Zelrich was like, "Ha ha ha! Sorry about that, dude. No, can't do." Then he punched him. I knew he was lying. He was far from the first ghoul who had tried to uncover my secrets in their own quest for immortality. I wonder if ghoul has a deeper meaning there, or if she's just mocking him. And yet, by this point, I was far too tired to tear him to pieces. I wasn't sure whether he was being truthful or not, but he was right about one thing at least. I no longer have a place in this land. There's no darkness to hide me, no light I can join. There's nowhere left for me to go. Yet even so, I can still feel the grip of his despair over my fate, coiling around my heart. Ah, you, my you, what will your fate be? That's great. I seek an end to eternity, a place where I can hold my head high and declare I've gone as far as I can. My sole wish, my one final request, is that I may tell my dearly departed that he no longer need weep for me. Well, that's kind of sad. Awaken, fairy. The time has come to return to reality. It has been 5 months since your arrival. We have now scanned your entire body 48 times in total. Our analysis is complete. What, you don't want to go 49? 7 times 7? Every last one of your body's secrets have been recorded within our memory circuits. We have at least learned the secrets of the Zenren's immortality. You did well, fairy. Perhaps we should continue to call you Akata Hinako? You may call me whatever you wish, your Imperial Majesty. You may have anything you like as a reward, or see alone still enough, as you initially requested. He is. I desire nothing else. Then, per the terms of our agreement, we hereby bequeath custody of Kuaji Zero to you. And he still pulled the, hey, kill yourself card on him? That's just mean. You have served us faithfully for centuries, our very first mechanical retainer. Congratulations on your retirement. Thank you, your Imperial Majesty. It's with a heavy heart that I take your leave for the last time. I think this is a flashback, right? I don't think this is current time. Zhang Yu? We do not know what sort of name our mechanical retainer may have made for himself in your history. But was this Xiang Yu person worthy of being entrusted with your mystics, Zenren? I could ask much the same of you, your Imperial Majesty. Why would you need to study me now, when you have long possessed the Fusang tree itself? True, we did learn the mystics of life through our obtainment of the Fusang tree. But we've never came across a single sage or fairy in all the time we've spent exploring their lands. You are the first genuine fairy we've ever laid eyes on, Akuta Hinako. I see. At any rate, this fulfills the final part of our contract. Tell us, what will you do now? If possible, I'd like to stay in a remote part of your land and live out my days in peace. How modest of you. But, will Chaldea let you do that? The Chaldeans have already incurred your wrath. There's no need to dirty my hands further. Okay, so this is President. Okay. It is only a matter of time now before one of your valiant Mountain soldiers presents you with their heads. Ah yes, we see. You do not want Xiang Yu to see you. Getting rough, so to speak. Very well, we prefer this mild-mannered act to the true colors you displayed at Hong Kong anyway. However, there's one thing we must ask before you leave our service. Is this world going to perish? At this point, I can no longer tell which will emerge triumphant. The will of this world to survive, or the will that would see this world destroyed. All I can truthfully say is that I couldn't possibly care less. Edgy. A good answer. We know now that if nothing else, you'll never oppose us. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Are you sure about this, Your Imperial Majesty? I believe she still knows more about the monsters that have invaded us than she's letting on. Yes, we're sure she does. I was shaken when she said she did not care if this world lived or died, despite saying she would stay. She is Zenren, a true human, the only one in this world who is on par with our royal personage. Had she voiced her intent to do something along the lines of protecting the world, then our wrath would have been swift and merciless. That would indicate her desire to fight us for this world, after all this time we spent protecting it. But that is not what she said. Indeed, she showed she has no attachment to this world whatsoever. In consequence, she can coexist with us as we rule. For there can only be one human who controls the world in its entirety. Indeed, Your Imperial Majesty, just as you say. Having two or more humans exist inevitably leads to quarreling, so this cannot be permitted. As this world's only human, we shall guide the common people with our love. Well, what are the people then, if they're not human? All they need concern themselves with is tending their land, filling their bellies, sleeping, and reproducing. What could be more peaceful? I mean, I guess he's saying, you have to do more than that to be human. And if they did more than that, they'd fight, so, Shiquan Canyon. 0 IP, yep. Okay. What now? I'm assuming it's, us. We've got our hands behind her back. Good. Make sure that wire's nice and tight. Don't forget the shackles. Fo. Tying up HorseyEatYou. Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? May I remind you, I saved your lives back. That is true. The guts was very nice. Can't believe a little glucose strip is all it took to get Gordy up and running again. Really goes to show what a unique person Mr. Gordolf is, doesn't it, Senpai? Fo. Fo's really going to town on Koenskai's head. He's using it as a dance floor. Whap. Understand how you feel all too well, Tiny. In fact, I can no longer restrain myself either. Cursed wench! Now you're wearing a Chinese dress of all things. Your wiles won't work on me, HorseyEatYou. You will never fool me again. Now what should I do with you? Oh no, I can't believe I've been captured by such a brood. Whatever will become of me now? You must have atrocities in mind as to put Chinchu Huang's punishment to shame. A veritable smorgasbord of torture the likes of which has never been witnessed in all of human history. No doubt he's gonna carnally humiliate me in unspeakable ways after keeping me caged like a wild animal. Oh, I'm so scared. Smorgasbord? Carnally humiliate? What? I mean, yes, I'm ruthless, but I'd never go that far. Fo. Alright, that's enough of that. Remember, your and Horsey's lives are still on the line here, Gordy. Oh, yes, that's right. Where's the antidote for the poison you used on me and Horsey? Give it. The one you promised to hand over in exchange for our help. I'll even spare you the shackles. Go on then, produce the antidote from that bountiful bosom of yours. He's getting closer. Don't you think I don't know how sexy you're... I'm not saying that. Nope, not saying it. Now hand over the antidote to make the hopes and dreams of every red-blooded male come true. Of course, I'll keep my end of the bargain. Here you go. Is it real? Give it. Just one bottle? That's it? Oh, well, Gordolf, it really sucks, but... That's right, a single dose is all I have. Do be warned, sharing it between you will just make it useless. What are you trying to pull? Fo. I mean, she only tried to poison one of us. Oh, come on now, think about it. Would I really go to the trouble preparing an antidote when the whole point of the poison was to kill my target? I just brought along a single dose for insurance, in case I ended up taking the poison myself by mistake. That's the one and only contingency I prepared for. And now, as I promised, I've handed over that single dose of contingency antidote to all of you. Whatever happens next is out of my hands. I wonder, which one will get to take it? His Excellency, the Great Gordolf, or Chaldea as one and only master? And just so you know, Horsey, you don't have much time left either. You might not be feeling too bad thanks to Mashu's protection, but make no mistake, the poison is doing its job. The poison dries you out from the inside. You only have a few days left to live, at best. Oh. I had no idea. Grr. Okay, can't we just make a copy of it? Senpai. As much as it sucks, I think we have to put our personal feelings aside in favor of the larger picture. Horsey, I suggest we... Horsey, I challenge you to a game of rock, paper, scissors. Fair. Let's do it. Huh? Only one of us will go on living, and we settle it with a man sport. That means it's a clash between our wills to survive. And when the stakes are this high, rock, paper, scissors is the only truly impartial judge. Well, normally I prefer a coin toss, but that'd give me an unfair advantage. So rock, paper, scissors it is. Mr. Gordolf? Really sure you want to settle this like that? It's alright, Marshal. They're content to make a decision this way. It's not our place to interfere. Just you, me, whatever hand we choose to play. A fair fight if there ever was one. What do you say, young man? Best 2 out of 3? Alright. So this is our personal judgment day, huh? Very well. Glad you're being such a good sport about this. Win or lose, no hard feelings, okay? That includes having one of your servants take it by force. Now they're unbecoming... Tristanery? It's not a word. Alright, let's do this! Rock, paper... Oh! I'm gonna use scissors. Are you mad? You're supposed to use paper there! I wonder if it always changes. I said I would use rock, but I sure could use paper in response. All I had to do was then use scissors and this would all be over. Can't you see that? And Gordy, that's not really the issue here. Also, Horsey, I think we need to have a little talk later. Were you trying to lose on purpose? Whether he was or not, Mr. Gordolf made the challenge for this particular duel. Tell us, Mr. Gordolf, what were you thinking when you used scissors after declaring you would use rock? When did he say he would use rock? Like, he said that, but he never actually said that. Yeah. What was I thinking? It's like, yeah, do whatever it takes to survive. That's what I was thinking. Go ahead and call me whatever you want. Smart, wise, dependable. Take any criticism you throw at me. But I don't want to die! Good grief. Yay, Daze. Hey, Horsey? It's been a good show and all, but I think it's time we got this over with, don't you? Yep, go for it. Does you have, like, poison creation skill? Huh? What's the meaning of this full Nelson Jinkei? Okay, Gordy, open wide. Are they making him take it? What are you? The medicine saga! My mystic codes. There you go, down the hatch. Are you nuts? Why do you make me swallow it? That was the only antidote we had. Now what are you going to do? Why can't I just let you die? There we go, I wouldn't even be here now if not for you. That's right. You only survived because Director Gordolf ate half that cake. I mean, like, are you implying that I would have eaten the whole cake if I saw it and would not have shared it with anyone else? If you had eaten the whole thing, you would have died on the spot. The director never said a word about that, so... Indeed, whatever the circumstances may have been, the end result is that Gordolf saved Horsey's life. And despite being well aware of that, he's not so much as mentioned it all this time. No doubt he decided it would be unfair to hold that over Mr. Horsey's head, given how he's about to head off into battle. Well, I don't know if I'd put it quite that way. So now we're even. No, this is kind of stupid, but... You fool. Where do you get off on being so decent, even at such a young age? But very well. This is, of course, merely a matter of priorities. There can be no team without its leader. Now that I'm fully back in action, all of our further plans are guaranteed to succeed. What a joke. I think you're revolting. And we'll just gobble you up from the head down. Oh, seems like we have a lady who can't quite contain her murderous rage. Oh, me? Don't be silly. This has all been a hugely entertaining farce. There's nothing quite like humans, is there? I'm so touched I feel as though my heart might just burst. Fo. I'm afraid you were grossly underestimating us if you thought that this little performance of yours would hide the truth. Oh, is she just lying? About the poison working on us? The medicine you handed over is not the only means of neutralizing the poison, is it? Oh, and what are you basing that also hopeful assertion, might I ask? That you chose to come to this particular lost boat in the first place. You made sure to wait until the time was right before you went about poisoning Mr. Horsey. Were your poison truly incurable? You'd only need to flee once the deed was done. As long as you had managed to cover your tracks, you could escape without leaving a trace. And yet, by the time we had arrived in this lost boat, you were already here. Now why would you do something so foolish? The answer is simple. Because there's something in this lost boat you needed to keep away from us. And what else could that be but a way to cure the poison you used? Can't stand men who have nothing more to offer than their minds. Imagine you must have heard that from Irene Adler a lot, didn't you? She was an antagonist, I believe, in Sherlock Holmes? Oh, thank you. Do not draw comparisons between her and an agent of pure evil such as yourself. Oh! Now then, as we can be sure that Miss Koganskaya's purpose in coming here is to protect it, we must simply ask ourselves what this cure might be. It would have to be something already lost in proper human history, as well as something unobtainable in any other lost boat, which leaves... Aha! The Fusang tree! Quite so. Though there are many things unique to this lost boat, the Fusang tree is the only thing I can think of that would be impossible to obtain elsewhere. It's the key to the Sage World's mystics. We know that it has no end of biochemical applications, as Qinshi Huang has so aptly demonstrated. I see no other magecraft system that could possibly be used to refine such a strange and complex poison. Well, I suppose there's no point in playing dumb any longer. Yes, you're right. That poison was derived from the Fusang tree. The substance made by distilling its roots with the yin energy is called Shan Shua Mingmai, or Immortal Decline. And the one made by decocting its leaves with the yang energy is called Xian Huo Mingmai, or Immortal Lifeline. Oh, so that's what the Emperor took? Either way, whether you're making poison or antidote, you need something from the Fusang tree. Of course, you could always make an antidote without the Fusang tree as long as you could extract something with the same components. Well, we all know proper human history lost those kinds of mystics long ago, don't we? Which means the antidote I had on me was your one and only hope. Hey, consort, you can extract a little antidote from you? Given that I held Horsey's life in my hands, I did consider making him my slave and forcing him to do my bidding. But I couldn't get Akuta's report out of my head. If only I never heard her mention there's a lost boat, where the Fusang tree remained alive and in human custody. So once you knew, you had no choice but to go guard it. This was quite the warrior yourself. I prefer to think of it as knowing when to hedge my bets. Whatever you choose to call it, your instincts helped us considerably for once. Once we obtain the Fusang tree for ourselves, we can cure Mr. Horsey's poison, correct? Theoretically, yes. But to actually do that, you'd have to make your way into Xiangyang, where the Emperor is. And you'd have to be insane to do that, wouldn't you? Well, yeah, we're gonna have to face off with Qinshi Huang eventually, especially now that the Emperor is trying to wipe us out for being Confucians. Besides, we can't leave this lost boat until we find the Tree of Emptiness and chop it down. The hidden Tree of Emptiness? Well, I suppose it all boils down to the same thing. At any rate, curing Mr. Horsey's poisoning remains our top priority. Can I assume our next destination will be Xiangyang then, Director? Yes, of course. After all, we do need to get our hands on that antidote at all costs. As Caldea's Director, I'm personally responsible for the lives of my staff, and that includes Horsey. I certainly can't afford to go around dying first. Well said, Director. Ho. Don't you worry, my boy. We'll find a way to save you. You just see if we don't. You hang in there and focus on defeating Qinshi Huang. I'm so relieved. No, we're not out of the woods yet, but at least this takes care of one big problem. Yeah. It's good to finally see Director Gordolf back to his old self again, isn't it, Senpai? End of chapter? Yep, okay. That was longer than I thought it would be. Give me that quartz. Starting to stockpile it again. I don't think there's anything I really want to roll on until, like, May? Well, I might roll for Miyu, actually, but that's it. I should hopefully get her with just a bait. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.